This is the Stormy Willow podcast, a lighthearted, balanced examination of the paranormal. Hey, welcome all you eccentric coots to the Stormy Willow podcast. I'm your host, Adele.
Hey, Adele. I'm your host, Sarah.
And thank you for joining the show. If you're a repeat listener, welcome back. If you're new, welcome for the first time.
Yes, we're so glad you're here to join in this paranormal
experiment.
Experiment, yes. Oh, so how are you doing, Adele?
I'm good. If you can't hear, I am finally completely clear and over COVID and back with the land of the living, and it feels good.
You sound great.
I feel great.
You have like a whole new lease on life, I feel like.
You know, it's kind of funny because it's like the 7th day was the worst. And then I was like, I feel like I was resurrected. I was like, I'm tripping.
Oh my gosh. So how was your COVID experience? Like, did it feel like, I mean, everybody's so different.
It was like a week-long cold. And then day 7 was like body aches, exhaustion, and mental. Like I felt depressed and anxious and like just really like crazy.
That's scary. And then you were fine.
Yeah, and I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep because my mind was like racing. And I had so many like nightmares. I dreamed about everything I'm afraid of, like sharks, crocodiles, black widow spiders, like, and then I was fine.
That's so weird. So the body aches did come. So I remember when I got the shot, the body aches were bad. Probably the worst I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
and then you were over it.
Yeah, it was just like a day that, it's like a day, it was just like, all right, we're going to give you one hell day, and then I was fine.
You poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, I am really glad that you're feeling better. You look much better.
Yeah, and also it's just kind of funny because, you know, now I'm like up and about, and then we had a consultation yesterday to convert to solar power, so we're going to do that.
Very cool.
So that'll be fun. Try to help
That'll
out.
Probably be nice. That'll probably be easier too with you already have the cool skylights.
Well, yeah, we get like 340-ish days of sunlight in New Mexico, so
yeah.
Why not do it?
I love that. Well, thank you for doing your part.
Yeah, it'll be cheaper, and any extra electricity we make goes back into the grid and goes to other people's.
Cool.
So
I love that.
That'll be nice. And then a weird thing yesterday is I thought it was our consultant coming back. Maybe he forgot something. Got a knock at the door in the evening. I open it. It's 2 Christians trying to like get us to go to their church.
Oh no! How did that go?
I haven't had that happen since I lived in the Carolinas, and it was. I could tell they could tell I was trying to really be nice, but it was a hard no.
I really would have loved to have been a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
It just seemed really awkward.
And they didn't even tell me, get a chance to tell me what denomination they were. They were like, hi, we believe in the Divine Father and the Divine Mother. And I was like, I'm down with the Divine Feminine. I've been there, done that with religion. Really don't like it. Don't like the dogma. Don't like the brainwashing. It's a hard no. And they were like, okay, have a nice day.
You didn't even say it was the Mamie.
Yeah, so they didn't even try to hand me a pamphlet or anything.
There you go. At least they picked up what you were putting down.
Yeah, it's like hard pass.
Hard pass. No.
So
oh my
yeah.
goodness.
How's your week been going?
It's been going okay, I guess. You know, it's the end of July. Like, we're officially in Leo season, so that's pretty awesome. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad week or anything. Just a regular week. Nothing too exciting, which, I mean, I'm okay with.
Mine was kind of to a T, like what your forecast was last week. Like, the first part was like, oh, I'm going to be better. No, I'm not. And it was like that, you know. You think you're gonna like be like all better or big or good at whatever you do, and then it like falls flat because I got sick and then you picked up in the last part of the week.
Yeah, I felt like that too. Like my first part of the week, it was a little. Actually, I take that back. Monday we got tickets for free to see the Doobie Brothers, which was pretty cool. But the sad part is our friend has COVID, so I'm like, oh, I hated that. And they were so amazing, Adele. Like, seeing bands like that make me feel so awesome, because these people have been like making hits longer than we've been living, and they're still out there doing it, and they sound fucking amazing. Like, they rocked it. So that was a really cool surprise. And then Tuesday I kind of felt like a case of like and then Wednesday too, and then Thursday I kind of felt more empowered, and today felt a little more empowered. So yeah, I think that my week was a lot like the forecast predicted, minus the surprise tickets to the Doobie Brothers. But it was the worst weather. It was so rainy, and of course my rain jacket broke, and so we like got soaking wet. The zipper broke while I was in line, and so there was this guy. He was so funny. All of a sudden he comes up like with this box of ponchos, and he's like, poncho man. So he was selling ponchos for like $5, which we bought because we were like,
I'll buy one just because you're singing that.
It was pretty funny. But the show was amazing. Such a good show. So I'm really glad.
Who opened for them, or was it just them headlining?
Just them. It was just them. So it was. I was really glad I got to see them.
That's pretty cool.
They're kick ass, man. It's like, holy cow, doing it.
Doobie Brothers. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty amazing. But speaking of fun events, I have some really cool events to share with you guys. So, guys, you have got to go on Facebook and look up the Paranormal Family. I don't know where they are. It's a Facebook group, but I'm trying to find out where they are, because guess what they have? They have a kids paranormal investigation, and adults are welcome too. And they really try to educate people on debunking things and how to investigate. And they go to all these cool locations. Sometimes they do undisclosed locations. They do mansions. They just do the coolest events. So it is the Paranormal Family. And they do have a kids paranormal investigation coming up, and adults are welcome to come too. But they put all their events on Facebook, and it just looks so cool. Like, they're really into teaching people at an early age, or however age you come into this, the basics of paranormal investigating. So I love their cause. I think it's really amazing. So they have a lot of cool stuff. And then I got to tell you about another cool place. If you're in New York State, there's a place that's I'm probably gonna say this wrong. It's the Ganese County Village. It's like a living museum, and they've got going on August the 19th through September 3rd ghost stories and stuff. Like, you get to go hear these ghost stories, and it's like kind of like walk through like their full museum and stuff. And if that weren't enough, August 6th through August 7th at the same place, they're doing an event, and it's called A Novel Weekend, and it's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. You get to walk through and solve the mystery of like one of the Sherlock Holmes mysteries. Like, they're taking it back to like the time, like, he was alive, so everything's like period correct and stuff. So they do some really cool stuff at that museum. And then last but not least, there is HillCon Paranormal Convention. It's coming up in Newcastle, Pennsylvania on August the 13th. And they're going to have a lot of speakers and a lot of readings and just a lot of cool vendors there as well. So as we're getting closer and closer to spooky season, I know that these events are just going to keep on getting bigger and bigger. So let's get ready. I'm already ready to start my Halloween. Like, I'm there. Like, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, me too. I keep talking to our pumpkins that we're growing every day, and I'm like, I can't wait to make you a jack-o'-lantern. Like,
I can't wait to get you.
Yeah, like, you're gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna plant your seeds and grow more of you.
I went running today at lunch, which was not a good idea. It was really hot, but there was this house, and they already had like one like dummy out there, and he was all bloody. And like their address looked like it was in blood. It was a little weird.
Are you sure like that was fake?
I don't know. It was a little creepy. I was like, I'm just gonna keep on running by myself. But it was neat. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I've been watching all the TikTok where people are already feeling it and getting their spooky season on, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Like
I do love the summer, so
it's finally like dropped down into the 80s here. It's supposed to be raining in New Mexico. It's already been raining for like the past 2 days, and it's
which
like
is good. You guys have needed it.
When I was having flash floods, because the ground's so dry. But we've had rain for the past few days, and it's supposed to go on into Tuesday. Like, and it's just nice stormy skies and Halloween feeling, and
like you probably never really get that there.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I slept awesome last night because it was like raining on like our skylights and stuff. I was like,
love that.
Amazing.
That is relaxing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So my seasonal affect disorder is going away because the summer's ending.
And mine's starting. I'm glorious in the fall. Love it. But as soon as that time changes and December rolls around, I'm a wreck until March. I'm a wreck from December to St. Patrick's Day, and then I come out of it. Have my sun lamp. I don't know. I don't like the cool weather. I don't like the dead trees, and I really think it's just the time that messes with me more than anything. I just need that sunlight.
Yeah. Well, I guess come on out here for the wintertime.
Right. I should.
Because we have the best of everything, I think, and we actually have seasons. For now.
For now, yeah. Isn't that the truth? Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of forecasts, what do we have to look forward to as we start August?
Yeah, so Leo season is upon us. So I only did like the first part of the month since I wanted you to have something to cover in the next forecast.
I appreciate that.
So really, like, this is the way I would describe it is a whirlwind. What's going to happen over the next probably week. It's like quick, like boom, boom, boom. So July 31st, which I think this will probably air on
Sunday. Yeah.
The conjunction between Uranus and the North Node in Taurus occurs. So the way I kind of broke it down, because I was having a hard time understanding this. Oh, and by the way, I think Uranus has been in Taurus since like 2018. I didn't know that, but anyway,
a long time.
Right.
Okay.
So Uranus is described as disruptive, unpredictable, and like awakening kind of energy.
Okay.
Taurus is like your slow and steady, secure kind of energy. And the North Node is like your destiny and where you're going.
Got it.
So all of these are like hitting at the same time on the 31st. So I couldn't summarize it better. So thank you to elitedaily.com. I'm just going to quote them. Everything we've been experiencing within and around us will continue to amplify in August as we are on the precipice of shifting into a brand new world. What you considered secure and stable once upon a time is about to change.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So that sounds like it could be bad, but on August 1st, Mars, which is passion and aggression, will move in between Uranus and the North Node in Taurus. So this is going to be like off the hook energy. So there's going to be sudden shifts that both confound and excite. And the way I would say it's just enjoy the ride. So it's going to be like unexpected stuff, but it's going to be kind of exciting, not necessarily bad, but it's going to like throw you for a loop.
Okay.
And then on August 4th, Mercury goes home into Virgo. That's where it belongs.
Okay.
And so that's the communication planet. So then you're going to have mental clarity. So it's going to be kind of a fun, exciting, crazy roller coaster. And then you're going to kind of reflect over it and make sense of it all.
Makes sense.
So
hopefully it will make sense.
We'll see after next week if that made sense to us or spoke to anybody.
I know. It's crazy how the forecasts do, you know? It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. Well, that's pretty exciting. I guess I will buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up. And just enjoy the weird twists and turns that are about to hit you.
I mean, such is life, right?
Yeah. So
love it. I'm here for it. Well, thanks, Adele. I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I'll be buckled in and ready to go. So if you're new to the show or you haven't listened in a while or you as Adele likes to say, never made it to this point in the show before. At the end of the show, we spin a wheel that has a bunch of really cool topics, and it kind of tells us what topic we're going to be researching or finding to research that next week. And last week I got to spin that wheel, and I landed on entity.
Entity, yeah.
And let me tell you, Adele and listeners, I have a wild, crazy tale for you tonight. Are you ready for this?
I'm pretty pumped because, like, I don't even know why I put entity as a category because that's such a gamut of stuff. I was probably drinking a little bit of wine and was like, I'm going to put entity on there. But yeah, I have no idea what your topic actually is that you narrowed in on. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, let me tell you that my notes are also an entity. So if you hear a lot of rambling.
Speaking of entities, I don't hear any of your entities today. Are your dogs like even there?
Listen, my entities are here. Their dad is home, and actually they're being really good. They've had a really good week. So now that I've said that, they're probably going to get bananas, but they've been really good. They got to see Grandnanny today. That's our mom. Our dogs love her because she gives them more treats.
So they're like full of chicken or something.
They're full of treats. Yeah. Like they're basically comatose right now because of grandma.
That works.
Yeah. They're like, Grandma. And she's like, have a whole bag of treats apiece.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating either.
Oh no, like when she's like eating a sandwich, she'll be like, you can just split the top part of the bread. Oh, you can have half the filling. And then she just ends up with like a bottom of a piece of bread with mayonnaise on it.
Yes. And then she will they love her so much. Like she gives me everything. So yeah, so they're passed out. Okay. So guys, before I start on this wild ride of this entity that I'm going to talk to you about, I do want to just do one trigger warning for you. We are going to, unfortunately, this part of this takes place in the 1700s in the South. So there is some mention of slavery. I hate it, but it's just a part of the story. We're going to go there. So
because we're going to tell the truth about history.
Yeah, we're not going to pretend like, oh, but they wanted this.
It was all fun and just they were singing songs all day.
Yeah, it was great.
It was voluntary.
No, we're going there. We're not gonna leave it out of the story because that was a part of this history. But I'm gonna tell you about this entity, but first I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about it, okay?
Okay.
So this crazy thing has done physical harm, possibly caused a death, is a gossip, a Southern belle, and a racist.
Oh, I kind of liked it until that point.
Yeah. Any idea? Any clues?
Southern belle.
Southern belle, gossip, a Bible scholar, physical and verbal abuser.
One of the Grahams? I don't
know. This is the story of Senator Lindsey Graham. How did you guess?
Southern belle. That
was it. That was it.
I knew it was that bitch.
You're like, I know this person. Hang on, it's going to come to me. No, this is the story of the Bell Witch.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was Southern.
Yes. You may be thinking of the Blair Witch.
Well,
but the Blair Witch was based on this loosely, believe it or not.
All right, let's do it. Racism though. Let's just jump into it.
So guys, this story is cool in the sense that it is one of America's greatest ghost stories because it's America's most documented. So there is a lot of actual documentation with the story. And as you know, we talk about paranormal and the things we talk about, we always get frustrated because of the lack of hard evidence. So this story has a lot of probably most evidence of any ghost story that we have talked about on the show. So this happened in Tennessee, and so this basically this entity claimed to be, and this is in the entity's own words, mind you, a spirit from everywhere, heaven, hell, the earth. I'm in the air, the houses, any place at any time, and have been created for millions of years.
It's God.
That's how the Bell Witch defines herself. That's supposedly what they have said. She has said about herself. Because she's audible. I'm going to say it's referred to as a she because she also goes by Kate.
Okay.
So, anyway.
That's less threatening. Oh, Kate over there. She does sound like a gossip.
Over here.
Oh, Kate.
Right. So she also goes on to say, because she speaks a lot in this story, and so that's how she describes herself. And then she goes on to also say that that she was a spirit, and she was one time very happy, but has been disturbed and made unhappy. She said that she is a spirit of a person who was buried in the woods nearby, and the grave was disrupted. My bones disinterred and scattered, and one of my teeth was lost under this house. I am looking for that tooth. Of course, this cannot be verified, but a number of Indian burial grounds are from that area. So some say she could be a Native American that's mad because her home got disrupted. So we're going to get into. She's pissed off about the tooth.
Wow. Okay, this is already very bizarre.
This is a wild ride. Talk about buckling up. This is wild. Just because this entity is so verbal, like really verbal. Like Kate's just going to tell you, this is who I am. This is what I want. Yada yada. So you're going to hear a lot of
just about her tooth being missing because she's Chatty Cathy.
She's
Chatty Kate.
She's a Chatty Kate. All right. So where do we begin with this craziness? Okay.
I don't know.
Where do we unpack this? So let's start with the Bell family, because this is the family that Kate haunts. Okay. That's why she's called the Bell Witch. She haunts this family. So let's start way back in the 1700s. John Bell was born in Halifax County, North Carolina, and he moved his family to Tennessee to buy property and become a farmer, which, people did back then. And so he moves to, he buys this farm in Edgecombe County in Tennessee, and he began really making a lot of money and being pretty influential in that community because he had one of the largest farms. He's a pillar of the community, making a good life.
He's a pillar.
He's a pillar. And so just making a good life for him and his family. Okay.
I'm very sus of him as a pillar.
Yeah. Well, you'll see. So in 1804, the family has grown. So they've had a few children, and I'll tell you their names. Not all of them there only will be one that you'll need to really know.
All of them matter.
No, I didn't want to say that.
Let's just
there's only one.
Back in that day, and probably up through the 1950s, like not all your children mattered.
Yeah. So basically, they have all these kids, and one of the kids, in particular, we'll talk about in a little bit, but she experiences most of the hauntings. So anyway,
her name Kate?
No, Kate's the witch.
Okay.
So basically everything's fine. They've grown this huge family. They've got this huge, awesome farm that's making all this money, and everything's just fine. And then all of a sudden they notice this animal that looks like a dog rabbit kind of hybrid situation. And so they see it, and they're just like, they shoot at it, and they're just like, okay, maybe I didn't, maybe it was just it probably was anything, just who knows? It's just a crazy looking dog or whatever.
Maybe it's took it or something like.
Exactly. Okay. And so John, who's the dad, he shot at it, and it vanished. And so they're like, okay, it's fine, whatever. So some of the other kids also started noticing just like weird noises around the house. They kind of noticed weird animals too. But then, you kind of just start thinking, oh, it's probably a house settling or whatever. But then all the kids report like rats like gnawing at them in their bed. But when the parents go to look, they can't find any evidence of gnawing. They can't find any evidence of rats. They can't find any marks. So they're like, no, like,
you know what though? I kind of believe the kids and that it might have really been a rat. Like those things are sneaky and quiet. And just, like, you know, it could be bothering you in your sleep. It's not necessarily going to like chew your blanket to shreds. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
I don't know. But I think it was truly a rat.
Maybe it was in this case. But the kids then also noticed that there was just knocking on the windows and the doors. They could hear wings flapping against the ceiling like a bat almost. And they could just hear sounds of like choking and strangling. And then I hate this part. They could also hear chains dragging with heavy objects hitting the floor. And so they're just kind of like,
that
they're
doesn't
like,
sound good.
No. And so they're just like, something's wrong. Like, I don't like this. And like I said, you know, the parents couldn't really find anything. They couldn't find any damage to the property. And so they were like, let's just not, you know, let's do the Southern thing and let's not tell anybody about this. Let's just be quiet and keep it to ourselves because it can probably be explained. Okay.
They look at each other and they go, that didn't happen.
That did not happen. It's fine. It's totally fine. But then things get a little more intense. Then things start getting abusive. So the spirit, who we're going to call Kate, she really did not like Betsy. That's one of the daughters. And she was just not a fan of her. And so she would pinch her, pull her hair, slap her. And like, so she was like hurting her. Like, it was just like, oh, this is not okay. But so all the kids like saw things or whatever, but Betsy for some reason was the one that she just did not like at all. And so
I can't say I blame Kate. I worked with a really mean Southern person named Betsy too, and I would slap her as well.
You'd slap her too.
Go ahead, Kate.
Well, so she did not like Kate at all. So the physical abuse was really towards her. And then also John Bell Sr., he was the dad. And so Betsy definitely had the most abuse by the witch. And apparently...
one question. Do we know like if Betsy's like one of the older or younger children, or she's somewhere in the middle?
I think she's an older child.
Okay, so she might be like teenager.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you why I think she's probably a teenager. Because so Betsy is engaged to a neighbor, right?
Okay.
And the witch hates this engagement. She is not for it. So she also tries to do harm to her fiance and her as well. So she's made it known, like, I do not like it. I don't like this relationship. And so the witch would, Betsy would, she would like faint, and then she would have these crazy sensations. And then she was just a wreck because of this entity. And they actually sent her to stay with like a neighbor, just to be like, okay, I've got to get Betsy out of this house. So let me just like send her to a neighbor's house. Well, the spirit follows her there and continues to attack her. So this entity just isn't attached to this house. She travels.
And she's not really bothering anybody else except for Betsy. She's just kind of
for Betsy and for John. She's making her presence known and freaking people out, but she's really going for Betsy, and she's also going for John Bell. But right now, she's really just kind of aiming towards Betsy. And so, what she would do, so the family's like, I'm just going to send Betsy to the neighbors to try so she can get some rest, because
lucky
she's like,
neighbors
freaking out. Yes.
Yeah.
And so she spends her first night there, and the same shit happens, and there she is, Kate's there again, and the voice told her that that she could follow her anywhere, and that
I think that was unnecessary to say, but sure.
Yeah, but then she pats her on the head and tells her to get a good night's sleep, almost like tantalizing her, like get a good night's sleep. And so the rest of the family attempted to give and so basically it was just a mess. Like, she just doesn't leave her alone. And so the witch begins abusing her, slapping her, pulling her hair, and then she kind of abuses her fiance too. And she keeps on abusing her and tells her she has to call off this wedding. Like, she cannot marry this guy. And so Betsy does call off the wedding, and then the spirit stops abusing her. So it's like she was just totally not for this. And here, I want you just to put a pin in this, because we're going to come back to this when we talk about theories. But this, you got to remember the times, but this is so sick. But Betsy's school teacher, Richard Powell, actually had a crush on Betsy and wanted to court her. And her dad was like, no, like, you're way too old for her. She's going to be married to this guy or whatever. And later on, after that breakup, she ends up marrying this teacher. So that might be one of our theories about what could be going on here. So just kind of put that in the back of your head. So right now, she's engaged to this other guy. The witch hates this guy.
And does she actually like the guy that she's engaged to? Do we know that?
I feel like she does. And so she doesn't want him to be hurt, because he's getting hurt, she's getting hurt. And she's like, only way this witch is going to stop is if I break off our engagement. And she does, and the witch stops.
I just, at this point, I can't determine if the witch is trying to help her or hurt her. You know what I mean? Like, I can't decide if the witch is like, actually, I know this guy is bad news and I'm going to harass you until you don't marry him. Or if she's like, I know you really like him and I want to mess with you. I can't really tell.
Put a pin in that.
Okay.
So Betsy breaks it off and the witch leaves her alone. But the witch is still making her presence known at home, but she's not being physically abusive to Betsy anymore after she calls off her engagement. So Kate gets what she wants. She's like, okay, check. Now, remember when I told you, Lucy is actually John's wife. And remember how I told you that Kate loves to talk. So she never messed with the mom. She never messed with Lucy. And in fact, the spirit has said that she felt like Lucy was the most perfect woman living. And she showed a great deal of compassion towards Lucy. And even when she was sick, she would sing to her while and like rub her head and take care of her. So the spirit never was mean to Lucy, who's the mom. Okay. The other kids she annoyed, but she didn't like physically abuse them. And she went after Betsy, and she hated John, the dad. So she's obviously got specific targets that she's going for in the family. Certain victims, right?
And that's interesting, because whenever you said the teacher, because he was the one that said no, you can't marry him, and he had a crush on her. So okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes. Okay. So these are the people in the family she's upsetting, but she's also attacking other people. One famous occasion, the witch recited perfectly the sermon of two different reverends at two different churches 12 miles apart. So she could be at multiple places at the same time and tell you exactly verbatim what's going on.
Do we know how people corroborated that?
Because the families, I think, went to different churches, or maybe one person was at this church and like another member of the family was at this church, and she could tell them exactly what happened at the same time at the different places, and she was spot on.
Oh, so it probably couldn't be like Betsy,
right?
Fabricating it, because she can't be
at two places at one time.
That's pretty weird.
Something weird that she would do there. Also, this is the part I hate. She did not like the Bell family slaves. She would torment them, she would beat them, and she would not allow them to go into the house. The Bell slave named Dean stated that he encountered the witch several times and that it appeared frequently in the form of a large black dog or a wolf with two heads, or sometimes it didn't even have a head at all. Ooh. And he also claimed that he said that he had been turned into a mule and attacked several times by the witch.
He got turned into a mule?
Yes.
I don't know if I buy that. Okay, I don't
know. Maybe he meant to say she made a jackass out of him.
Oh, okay. That's a good save.
But he would carry. He was sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. There again, I can't tell if she's trying to help the slaves or hurt them. Like of course, like beating them, being mean, but like keeping them out of the house. Like maybe that's helping them to like not do shit they don't want to do. Like,
or not let them come in like for water or.
Oh, so it's like in a mean way.
Yeah.
Like oh, mean. You can't come in to get cooled off.
Yeah.
Or something. Oh,
she wouldn't let them in the house at all.
I thought you meant like, oh darn, you can't go in there to do all this shit.
Clean. No, it's like they were farmers.
Okay. Oh yeah, so that's just nasty. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. She's a bitch. For sure. But he so Dean, the slave of the family, would carry with him at all times an axe and a witch ball that his wife made in protection from the witch's influence. So he was legit scared of her as well. Also, if this weren't enough, so she's attacking family members, attacking the slaves. The Shakers, which were visitors and neighbors around the farm, she would also set 3 dogs, tigers. I was like,
whoa, tigers and donkeys and bears. Oh my!
These traveling Shakers would come into town, and she would set these dogs on them. And like just to attack them, just to be a bitch, like any kind of neighbors.
And they know that was her. Like these were not. Dogs.
Yeah, they're just saying that she's just like this witch. Just that
these dogs just manifest out of nowhere.
Yes, out of nowhere. And then another neighbor and husband fired a shot at this naughty log that had been conjured. They said she like made this log, like she just
it was a what? It was a naughty log.
It was a naughty, not like that. It was just like this bumpy log that she just made. And so so the neighbor tried to shoot it with a silver bullet, but then the log just disappeared in thin air.
And it got shot with a silver bullet.
Yes.
Why waste your silver on that shit?
I don't know. No idea.
What the fuck is going on around this place? Where is this property? I want to go investigate it.
So now, like, stories are really getting out about it. So, like, the family secrets out, okay? Like, everybody's like, some weird shit's going on over here. So they send in this doctor to come in to try to conjure and, get rid of the spirit or whatever. And he comes to exorcise this witch, and he gets so fucking scared, he just leaves. He just takes off.
Sounds typical.
He's out. He's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Like, oh shit, this stuff is real.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And this is probably the most epic thing that this witch does. So Andrew Jackson also had an experience with the witch.
He was kind of a wild ass though. Like, he's another one. Did he get drunk and like ride a horse through the White House?
Probably. Well,
I think he did. He was kind of a wild guy.
The Bell boys served under Andrew Jackson. So yeah, Andrew Jackson this is before he's the president, that he hears about this Bell Witch, and it's like, I'm gonna check this shit out. Let's go, boy. Like, that's what I imagine happening in my mind. So
he was probably like, do what?
Let's go.
Where? I'm gonna go see that naughty log.
So Jackson owned property on the Red River that's near this. So he's like, I already own some property there. Like, let's meet up. Let's go meet this broad,
Let's go catfishing, and then, we can have fish fry and this witch.
So he's on his way with his buddies or whatever to see about these stories he's heard about. And one of the wagons became struck by an unseen force, and it couldn't be moved. And so despite whipping the horses and examining the wheels and having it pushed by all the men in the party, it would not move. And so Andrew Jackson, friend, like Bella's companion, was just like, oh my God, this is the witch. And so then the witch replies, because she has a lot to say. So she's like, all right, General, let the wagon move on. I will see you later tonight. And then she lets it go through. So they're like,
so she just says that like in the air.
Just says it.
Like
yeah.
okay, General.
It's like, this story is so fucking crazy.
I think they're all on moonshine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
or
this is
shrooms.
My notes are like really nice. Okay, so then later that evening at camp, one of the people were like, according to them, they were a self-proclaimed witch hunter, and they said, I got a silver bullet right here, and I'm gonna go like kick this witch's ass, like blah 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 blah, with the silver bullet, yes, and so.
Was it Zach Bagans? Like, he, before Zach Bagans, like that's his past life.
Oh, maybe this is like his ancestors.
Oh, I was so ignorant back then. You can't kill witches with silver. It's werewolves.
The witch is starting to fuck with him at this point, or she's like, "Okay, dumbass, like let's roll, like let's play."
Like, hey, okay, big boy, let's go.
So, she says, this is killing me. Okay, so the witch hunter said he had the silver bullet, and he told the men that he's been hunting witches forever. Like, I got this or whatever. So Andrew Jackson told his colleague, "I bet this fellow is a coward, and by the Eternals, I do wish the thing would come. I want to see him run." And so after which, it was just kind of silent, and the witch hunters out there like trying to find the witch or whatever. And then the witch hunter, he tries to shoot the gun, but it wouldn't fire. So like she kind of did the same thing to the gun like she did to the wagon. And then this witch hunter was struck by unseen force and claimed to feel the pain of being struck by needles. And he explained that he had been grabbed by the nose and fled from the tent. And then the witch said, how the devil did run and beg. I bet he won't come through here again with his old horse pistol to shoot me.
He got grabbed by the nose. Like, what the fuck? This sounds like Granny from like the Beverly Hillbillies.
And then
crude like in the ground, like
that's not all she says.
Oh god.
So, that's not all she says. She then tells General Andrew Jackson, she's like, I guess that's enough fun for one night, General, and you can go to bed now. I'll come tomorrow night and show you another rascal in this coward. Oh, so Jackson was eager to stay, but everybody was like, nope, I'm done, and they left.
Like, what the hell? This is just insane.
This is the craziest damn story ever.
It sounds like Mom when she gets finally pushed to that level to where she's gonna like flog her ass. And then she's like, I beat her ass and I mean I did. Like
basically this witch is a redneck.
Yeah.
Kate is a damn redneck.
So I don't think at all she's like a Native American disturbed spirit acting like this. Like, who the I think it's just some drunk lady in the woods. It's probably our Aunt Debbie.
Or grandma.
Like, I'm just gonna fuck you. And
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I told you, like, this is the wildest damn story ever. Okay, so that is her encounters with the president and neighbors. So now we gotta get back.
Her encounters with them, not their encounters with her.
I mean, they came looking for a good time, and she did not fail.
Hey, I want to go drink some moonshine with her. Let's go try to conjure her in the woods.
She is crazy.
I mean,
okay.
I'm not gonna try to shoot her with silver bullet, but sit down and have a drink with me.
She's like, will you just like share some apple pie moonshine with me, man?
Will you just tell me again what you did to Andrew Jackson?
Tell me the Andrew Jackson story again.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you like Betsy's fiance?
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about that guy.
What's the deal with that guy? Okay, so back to the Bell family. So we've seen how we already talked about how Kate, the witch, attacked Betsy, right? And then she kind of stopped attacking her once she called off her engagement to the love of her life. And she's kind of tormented the family slaves. She's just been kind of a nuisance for the family, except for the mom. But this is what her main goal was, and that was to kill John Bell. And so,
well, why'd she have to be mean to the slaves to do that?
I guess just
because she's a bitch.
Yes, that's the part I don't like about her.
Like, I like her otherwise. It's like, why you gotta fuck with people who can't even like
if she tried to free them or do something awesome, then I'd be like, yeah. But I'm like, oh. So I like that she fucked with like General Jackson and stuff.
Or maybe she's just mean to everybody except for the mom. I don't know. Yeah, but I liked her up until then.
Yes, that made me mad. I was like, no, I didn't want to put it in the story, but I was like, I can't deny it.
No.
My heart, because I wanted to like her. So let's talk about John Bell. Okay, this is the dad. This is the fella. So one of the goals of the Bell Witch was to kill him. That was her goal. She hated him, and that's what she wanted to do.
But
so
why?
She, old Jack Bell, and we'll get into some reason.
Old Jack Bell.
His name's John Bell, but she called him Old Jack Bell.
Maybe he liked to drink some Jack Daniels.
But that's what the witch referred to him as, or the spirit.
Okay.
And so she would blast curses at him. She would threaten him. She would physically torment him and abuse him. And she would do really mean things to him to try to impact his psyche. And so she really got him one day. He was just completely bedridden and he just couldn't really move or do anything. And so his oldest son, John Jr., kind of just was in charge of just trying to like make him comfortable, kind of tend to him, help him out. And so December 19th, 1820, old Jack Bell failed to leave his bed. And so his son John went to try to get some medicine for his care. And so instead of 3 medicine vials, he only found 1. And it was full of like this dark, smoky liquid. And he's like, what the hell is this? You know, I don't remember seeing this.
Can I just say something? Because I was just kind of wondering if like Jack was like a derogatory term. Like I know like gentleman Jack, like it was. Because like, calling you the D word for lesbians. But I just looked it up and it's often Jack is just an informal as a man or a sailor. So I wonder if he like was like I don't know, that'd be kind of creepy if he was like an old captain and she's like, oh, old Jack, and like knew this backstory or something. I don't know. I took it there.
I don't know. But she just really, she wasn't a fan. She hated him.
Okay.
So, or maybe he's like, I just really wanted to call John. She's like, I'll never call you John, Jack. Like, are you like, don't call me this?
You know what? She's probably his dead mother-in-law.
Maybe. You busted the case.
I did.
Thanks for listening, guys.
She's just like, Jack. Oh, I mean, John.
Darren, like Darren.
Yeah.
Darren. It's like a racist Andorra. So John Jr.
Anyway, we'll talk about this after the show. It was an episode of Bewitched where I was like, wasn't that kind of fucked up? And I never realized it until now.
Oh man. Okay. So John Jr., old Jack's son, goes to the medicine cabinet and he notices like there's this 1 vial of medicine and it's like got this black liquid and he's like, whoa, like what is this? And so he goes upstairs to see his dad and the witch gloats, it's useless for you to try to relieve old Jack. I've got him this time. He'll never get up from that bed again. And she claimed that the vial that she gave old Jack was, she gave him a big dose of it at night while he was fast asleep. And the contents of the vial, like they threw it into the fire and it erupted into a blue blaze. And John died.
So it was gasoline, and this is Granny from Beverly Hillbillies.
But here's the really bad part. So there are a lot of podcasts and stories on this that I listened to as well. And it said that Jack Jr. wasn't sure what it was. And so he gave some to his cat and then the cat died.
What a dick.
But so here's the worst part. So this funeral is like humongous, right? Because John Bell and it's like huge in this family. He's this big family person, whatever.
You mean Jack Bell?
Oh, Jack. Yeah. Yeah. And
Jack.
At the funeral singing like drinking songs.
Okay.
So she's just like, oh hell yeah, like done and done, got you.
So wait, so everybody at the funeral could hear her?
Yes, supposedly. I'm telling you the story. It's just fucking mad.
Maybe it is like Andorra. Maybe it is like his mother-in-law, and she's like a witch.
So, got some theories for you about old Kate.
I'm dying to hear them.
I will tell you a few things before I get into my theories. So, following the death of Jack, the witch's activity kind of diminished a good bit. She got what she wanted. And so she was still active, though, throughout the winter and spring of 1821. But soon she told the family, hey, I'm going to leave you now for 7 years. And true to its word, the family remaining at the property, which was Lucy, Richard Williams, and Joel. Claimed the witch did return in February 1828. And she reappeared the same way that she appeared the first time, with shaking beds and unexplained voices. But then she vanished again. And she claimed that she would return to haunt the Bell descendants once again in 1935, but no other specific hauntings of the Bell family of their property was quite to the level it was during that 19th century haunting. Despite this, unexplained activity in and around the Bell farm in Adams, Tennessee does continue. Various encounters near the property along the old Nashville-Clarksville Road and the famous, there's actually a Bellwich Cave that you can actually go visit. It draws tourists and ghost hunters like crazy. And the Bell Witch has been the subject of countless modern books and documentaries, including American Haunting, and it's like kind of it's very loosely based on the Bell Witch. And then also I had heard that it was that the Blair Witch Project was kind of loosely based on it too. So the haunting of the Bell family ended nearly 200 years ago, but the tales still live on. Like it's still like people go to this cave, and it actually was, this cave was added to the National Historical Registry in 2008, and it's the only original feature from the legend that you can actually go to today, because the property's been subdivided, sold off, all of that. Can still go there, and supposedly a lot of eerie events happen there. A lot of visitors say that they had difficulty taking photographs around the site, and they say that just like, just little spooky things kind of happen there. So I think it would be really cool to go and check it out. It seems like a really cool location.
I think we should go there, Graceland, Dollywood, do a Tennessee tour.
We should do a Tennessee tour for sure. But before we wrap this up, I want to tell you about Kate Batts, okay? The real Kate Batts. I'm going to tell you a few facts, and I just want to see, this might help you with your theory.
What's her last name?
Batts.
Batts?
Like a bat with an S, like a bat.
And they heard bats in their house?
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Okay.
So here's the thing about Kate. So in life, Mary Catherine Batts, known as Kate, she was the wife of Frederick Batts, who many believed was the culprit behind the disturbances of the Bell Witch. So she referred to herself as Kate. People referred to her as Kate. So this woman was not a poor woman, but she was also in life a woman that people made fun of for being eccentric and outspoken. And
this sounds like a story we've heard over and over and over again.
doesn't it? And so people throughout the Red River settlement in the county used to make, they would use improper uses of words when they would like describe her, because she didn't have like proper language, and she was just really strange and outspoken. And so they would make up stories that she practiced black magic and that she was evil, and none of that.
She probably had like a disability or something, right?
Yeah. And so some people think that Kate Batts was not the witch, and the witch was never Kate, that they basically used this poor woman that people don't understand as a scapegoat and like made her out to be this evil monster. So there's that.
So she was a real person who was alive during the time of the Bells living there.
Yes.
Like that's the same time. So it's not supposed to be like her ghost. It's supposed to be like she, like through time, became the witch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it gets a little more spooky than that. So in the early years of the 19th century, Benjamin Batts, he was the brother who was like related to Kate. She was the brother of Frederick, who they're the Batts family. Okay.
Yeah.
And he had a dispute with John Bell over the sale of a slave. And facts of the dispute were later tangled and became the source of a rumor to the effect that John Bell and Kate Batts had the quarrel, and that the Bell Witch was created by Kate Batts to get revenge on the Bell family. And while there are plenty of stories that connect the Bell Witch to Kate Batts, some sort of disagreement that existed between her and John Bell suggests that she had nothing to do with it. In fact, contrary to reports of her claiming that she would get even with John Bell on her deathbed, Kate Batts actually outlived John by many years. So it's like, how could she have been the witch? Like, she outlived him. She wasn't even there whenever this happened. And there are many descendants of the Bat family living in that still live in those counties today. So it's like, they were basically saying this lady's so crazy, like she conjured up another version of herself. Like and it just doesn't make sense.
Or did somebody, I don't know, or was it like an elaborate prank?
Well, that too. Now this is where it gets a little more, some more theories come into play. All right. I don't like this one at all. So Betsy, let's see. Where did I find this? Okay. Betsy, there were also rumors that Betsy was molested by her dad, and that Betsy made the witch so that she could get away with murder.
This is I think there was a Bell Witch movie that came out, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s. And I remember watching that, and it was very much that narrative of her killing her dad and kind of driving him crazy because he's molesting her.
It was like a way she could get out of the home, possibly. It was, she could definitely call it Kate because he didn't like the Batts family. And then Kate's this weird, eccentric person. So there's your scapegoat. It would have been a perfect plan to poison him and get away with it. So that's one of the theories. Another theory, remember I told you to put a pin in it, is Richard, the school teacher. Could it have been because her dad was reported to say that Richard would marry his daughter over his dead body? Could Richard have made up Kate to get rid of the fiance and then also get rid of the dad for inheritance and just being mean, saying that he wouldn't give him his blessing?
And Betsy did end up marrying this man?
She did.
That's kind of curious.
That's another interesting theory. So those are all very, very interesting thoughts. What do you think? Do you have are you leaning towards one of the theories more so than the other? Do you think she was a real witch and like she
No, I don't think she was a real witch. I think it's a mix of both. I feel like maybe it was some kind of crazy lady who was kind of just crazy and wild in the woods and then became this story. But just because like the specific things people hearing her, it sounds like and it's not just the family. Assuming everybody's being truthful.
Assuming that this is true.
Right. Assuming that everybody is being truthful and these are true accounts and not fabricated.
Right.
It sounds like everybody in that town, at least at the funeral, heard her or had some sort of account or like experience with her.
Right.
So I think that's like part of it, but it could be like mass hysteria planted by maybe that school teacher. Almost like the Crucible, you know, it's like all you need is like a shred, and it's like the right time period for that.
It is. Look at Salem.
It's like, oh my God, I'm hearing all this stuff. Oh my God, now I'm hearing all this stuff.
Exactly. So I think it's interesting. I really do. And before we go, I meant to start with this, and I apologize I didn't. I want to cite my amazing sources, especially a lot that I quoted directly from with what the witch said or supposedly said. So my main source here was it was sharetennesseegov.tennesseefiles.com. So this was a lot you could just find on the Tennessee's page.
Oh, that's from like the government website?
From the Tennessee state government, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Good job.
I mean, if I kind of believed in our politicians more, I would put more weight in that. But
it's like, and I think it was kind of cool because this cave, like they're really into preserving it, and like.
But that's weird though that nothing in our story happens in that cave, right?
I think it's just the closest thing that they have to the actual house. On the property.
I don't know.
And I also wanted to shout out some podcasts I listened to. I listened to the Mytho Ladies podcast, and I also listened to the Horrifying History, which I really enjoyed. So I just feel like there's just a lot about it. I think it's a really interesting story, and I think it really could have been Betsy. It could have been Richard. It could have been really any member of the family if you think about it, that they needed a way to get rid of old Jack.
I just think it's odd that the two targets were Betsy and John.
That is very true.
I think it's Richard.
That's true too.
Like,
yes. Do you think maybe Betsy told John as her teacher that she was being molested by her dad and he went to confront him?
I mean, perhaps, but unfortunately, thinking about that time period, and would he really care?
Yeah, that's very true. So it's very interesting. I mean, and especially with the witch really not wanting her to marry this guy that was like the love of her life, it makes you kind of feel like it would have been Richard, because like then it stopped.
Unless, I don't know, or was she in it with Richard to drive John crazy?
Or that too. Like maybe it was their plan all along.
Like, I'm going to pretend like I'm in love with this guy and then plant the seed of this witch.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand the hatred of John so much unless he was doing something.
Yeah, unless he was just not a good person. There was an earlier account I heard, and I forgot which. I was just kind of listening to
you know what? I really think it was Richard and Betsy together, or Richard and like avenging her. I really do, the more I think about it, because there's no reason for the witch to hate John so much, to want to kill him.
Right.
Like,
I just feel bad. I feel like Kate that was really the victim in the story as well. I feel like, here's somebody that may be different from you, and they just basically, I almost feel like they were thinking they could get away with it because it would be a witch hunt against Kate.
Yeah, like, do you
come for them?
Let's assume it was Betsy and Richard, or at least Richard, trying to drive John crazy and kill him. Do you think, like, I mean, Kate's not an uncommon name. Do you think they specifically said that to set that lady up? Or do you think it was a coincidence and then other people in the town were like, oh, it's Kate. Oh, it must be crazy Kate. Like, it must be this crazy lady. And then that's how it evolved.
I feel like, yes, but then I feel like it doesn't make sense that she outlived John. Like, why wouldn't they have at that time gone and like beat her door down and be like, we know you're practicing witchcraft? Do you know what I mean? Especially that time. That's what I don't understand. Like, they never went after her.
Well, I mean, because she was alive at the same time, right? But there's supposed to be like a spirit witch, which to me makes sense that at the time that activity was happening, they didn't think it was her, but over time it evolved into actually this lady with disabilities.
But why? But they said that she said that her name was Kate.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I pulled a name out of the air, it very well could be Kate.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
And Mary Catherine, like, that's not necessarily Kate. Like, I don't know. There's something super fishy about all of this, and it's something about these people that are these are all the prime suspects.
I think so too. You've got Betsy and Richard, and then you can't really rule out like,
and the respect of the mom so much, it really makes me think that Betsy's in on it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because they love the mom, and the witch never hurt the mom.
But then again, if your dad is abusing you, I mean, I don't know. I know it's a different time, and I know every family is different. I would think if like the mom did nothing, or maybe the mom did kind of defend her at times as much as she could, and that's why there's such a respect for the mom.
Or maybe it was her mom. Maybe her mom was the mastermind.
Right. I don't know. There's something fishy.
Maybe she could have even been like, let's pretend this to at least get you out of the home.
That's true. Like, because maybe the teacher wanted to take her away, and maybe if she married the guy she liked, she would have been in close proximity.
Exactly.
And she's like, well, we can't have that happen.
Maybe it was just all a ploy to get Betsy away from her dad.
I think John is a stinker and someone's trying to kill him. Period.
Yeah. Yes.
I just can't quite figure out exactly what's going on.
I know who it is not. It is not Kate.
But then again, like, okay, I hate to say it, but if you do have slaves as property, you could kind of make them make this up.
That's true too.
So they could have gotten them in on it too.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it because like they don't really have a choice in the matter.
Like when Dean said the witch like turned him into a mule and stuff,
which is really shitty. Like, I mean,
they could have made him say, they would have made him say that.
But it's like, especially by being like, you can't come in the house. Maybe it was them. Like, you can't come into the house to get some water until you join us in this lie.
That's true too.
Like, you thirsty? Like, just torturing them all day. Like, are you so thirsty?
Like Dean had a family and stuff.
Because John wasn't in that house all day. It was Betsy and Lucy, right? Wasn't her name Lucy?
Lucy's the mom, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they're probably in the house all day being like, I don't know. The witches won't let you come in. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Unless you...
This might be one of the craziest stories I've ever covered.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It feels so true crime more than paranormal.
It makes
but like the crazy shit the witch says that everybody hears, it makes me think that there really is this lady, Kate, that really is maybe just a little bit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to call it crazy. Like maybe she's like wild, like. And
maybe. Okay, I have a new theory. Maybe Kate, let's take it to Still Magnolias. Maybe Kate's just like Weezer, and she is fucking pissed.
Just a mean old lady.
But she didn't like kill him. She's probably like, I fucking hate you, jerk. I hate your daughter. And maybe she does make threats, and maybe she goes out in the woods and plays pranks or does seances or crazy things. Like I shouldn't say the word crazy, but things that people would think were crazy at the time.
Yeah.
Or witch-like. And maybe that's not. Maybe those stories got muddled together.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I'm kind of thinking that too. Like, maybe you do have this eccentric lady, and maybe she just goes around like saying all sorts of nonsense stuff in the woods, or like, playing jokes on people, like, oh, I'm gonna grab you by the nose.
Remember whenever on One About Bob, like when Dr. Marvin buys that house that couple wanted to buy, and like they're always like, I hate you, like screaming at him.
Yeah, totally.
Like that. Like maybe there was a property dispute and she really did hate him, but
it's like opposite. It's like she's Bob Wiley Like, and the family is like sending her out to do their bidding, and she doesn't know it. They're like, guess what? We're gonna try to drive John crazy. Hey, Kate, come here. Can you just go into the woods and just say these things we wrote down and scare these people? It's a joke. It's gonna be so funny. You know
what? I hate to say that, but I really, in my heart, feel like that's what happened.
Yeah, like Andrew Jackson's about to drive down. It's gonna be hilarious. Just go hide in the woods.
You're not gonna get in trouble.
Say this shit out of nowhere and then run away. And then we got you.
That's true.
Oh, by the way, at my dad's funeral, can you say this?
Yes, and then Jack's like Dr. Leo Marvin, but more sinister.
Yes.
This is
and it's like, call him Jack, not Dr. Leo. I mean, sorry, call him Leo, not Dr. Marvin. You know what I mean? Like, just say, mess up his name on purpose.
Yes.
Call him Jack, not John. You know.
Basically, yes. This is like a fucked up version of What About Bob?
What About Bob? You mean this guy?
Gosh, what is she pulling from her curiosity shell? Yes, that guy.
It all goes back to What About Bob?
Baby steps.
And all right, we cracked the case.
The case is solved. Next case. So yeah, crazy wild story, right? Like
Bob Wild story. No, Wiley. I tried to put that in there. No, never mind. Bob Wiley story. Anyway. No, I think there was some shenanigans going on.
I think so too. And I think that maybe Kate was one of these people where she would just maybe be friends with anybody and they could get her to do or say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the slaves would definitely, because they didn't have a choice, which some people think that
which is bullshit, man.
So yeah, I agree. I think we've cracked this case for sure.
And then they probably said stuff to the slaves like, oh, well, Kate's crazy, she might kill you if you don't go along with it. And then that made them afraid of Kate. And then throughout the story, like over time, Kate became someone who hated them, and she actually just had no interaction with them.
That's true. Well, that is the story of my entity, Bob Wiley. I mean,
Bob Wiley.
Bob
and Dr. Leo Marvin,
aka the Bell Witch. What about the Bell Witch?
Oh man, no, that was a good one. Like it's like that weird. It's like Drunk History meets Paranormal meets Ghost Adventures meets What About Bob?
Listen, my notes. I just wish that you could see them all because like they're even like numbered by all the crazy occurrences and how like they go back and forth, and it's just like I was like, we just got to get into this. I don't even know how this is going to flow, but there are other podcasts on it. None have made the connection that we just did with What About Bob.
Well, but we cracked the case, guys. No need to cover it anymore.
Got it solved now, but we got it solved. Good work.
Done and done. Through baby steps, you can solve anything.
You can solve anything.
No, that was a fantastic story. So much fun. I forgot what I was about to say.
I'm about to spin the wheel.
I was about to spin the wheel, but I was about to say something. Oh well, it's gone. I guess I can just spin the wheel.
I know. I can't wait to see what you land on. You've had some really great stories lately, so it's been really hard.
I know what I was about to say. Like we're only at like episode like 26, 27, and I feel like I need my master's degree in like history with like researching some of these stories. So yes. I know people might be like haters out there, or maybe like you're a history enthusiast. It's hard to do this from scratch, so
it is.
Hats off to you for the research, and like it's a crazy wild ride, right?
It really is. And I feel like I always try to cite my sources, but sometimes I just read exactly what you have already put together because I can't do it as well as you.
Well, it's just so
you get all of the credit,
put together. Like you can't state it any better than they do.
It's just they do a beautiful job.
We love you guys. We love our sources.
They're the best.
But now we have to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Here we go. All right.
It's going fast. Here we go, guys.
Curses. No, I'm sorry. I'm removing that one.
Yeah, we already covered.
Because we already covered that. Like, I know we try to keep it random and keep it fresh, but like, there's some topics we haven't covered yet. So I'm going to spin it again.
Yeah.
Oh, presenter's choice.
First.
All right. I'll take that. So it's my choice.
I can't wait to see
my body, my choice.
Amen.
I'll choose it. All right, cool. So I get to pick whatever the hell I want, which is awesome. There was something the other day I wrote down, which I was like, I don't know when this would ever come up. That
well, now you have your shot.
But now I have to remember what the hell it is.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, we are just so thankful for you that have stuck around to listen to our crazy tales and our theories and watch as we solve mysteries together.
Yes, Bob Wiley.
Any chance to throw Bill Murray in the mix?
He even has gill around his neck, if you can't see that.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
I might actually watch that after we finish recording.
Yeah, it's a good happy place to go to.
We need that. We need that right now.
And if you are not watching, I'm showing my pop action figure of Bob Wiley. So I can't believe they have like one for everybody imaginable.
They really do. They really do.
Need some.
I need some merch.
Bob, are you listening?
Oh, well, we thank you again for your support. And as we always say here,
stay safe. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
3, 2, 1.
Stay curious and
stay safe.
Stay safe.
And
don't trust the living. Okay.
To be fair, we just added don't trust the living last week, so we're still
the best advice of that is stay safe by not trusting the living.
Yes, for sure. 100%. Yes. Best advice you're ever gonna get. Thank you guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.